Hey everybody, it's Chris. So here's today's lesson. I'm going to start a new video series where we'll go through uh, constructing some songs using the Apple's GarageBand tool. So real quick, before I get started, you've noticed that I've started putting some videos up on YouTube, and I get a lot of these questions like, what is this sliding nine thing, or where does sliding nine come from? So essentially, Sliding Nine is a company that I created, and what I hope to do is inspire people to learn music and just take it up because that's something that I've really enjoyed. I enjoy writing songs and trying to study music theory and unlock the secrets of why certain notes sound good together and other notes don't sound good together. And it's been something that's really fun for me. While I was doing this, I discovered that I can create computer programs that will automatically generate music. And then I realized that such a program could also be used to teach the patterns that people use to construct music. And so I've created a piece of software that I call the Music Theory Memorization Game. And the goal of the software is to teach beginning students who know absolutely nothing about music how to create and compose songs. So without further ado, we'll get into today's lesson, and what we'll talk about today is, some of the most basic formulas for creating songs. And again, we're going to use the GarageBand tool from Apple. I can't remember if this was free or if it would cost me $5, but it's a very powerful, amazing tool. And basically, it's got a lot of built-in stuff. So what we've done, I've created a song with 4 tracks. We've got a drum track, we've got a bass track, we've got a piano track, and a saxophone track. And a lot of these drum beats come stock with the tool, so for the song, we'll use a stock drum beat, and I'll solo that for you. I'll let you listen to it for a minute. You can hear it's a pretty standard beat, nothing special, but it's something you can do when you really get into GarageBand. It has all of these different rhythms that you can put in there. You can select different drummers. But you can see it takes all of about 5 seconds to insert one of these canned drum beats in there. So that's what we'll use for our drum. That just sets the rhythm. And now for the rest of the part that we compose, we're going to use the 3 different tracks, the bass, the piano, and the saxophone, and we're going to try to create some harmonies here by using the progression. So essentially with the bass, we've just kept it very simple. The construction of the song is going to be based on a 1-6-4-5 progression in the key of C. Many of you may recognize that that's known as the doo-wop pattern, and just hundreds of the top hits from the 40s and 50s were based on this pattern. So we'll go 2 measures on each chord. So measures 1 and 2 will be on the 1 chord, which is the key of C major. 3 and 4 will be based on the 6th chord, which is A minor. 5 and 6 will be based on the 4 chord, which is F major. And 7 and 8 will be based on the G chord, which is G major. And the second part of that will follow the same pattern. So with the bass, we're just going to keep it super simple. We're going to use all 8th notes, and we're going to play all root notes. So the bass will provide the root movement for the song. And I'll let you listen to the bass independently, and you can hear that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a. I'll go ahead and cut that one short, but you can hear that's the rhythm. The bass keeps the pulse of the music by using steady 8th notes with some occasional 16th notes at the end of bars to break up the pattern. And it also supplies the root note, which is the basic for the harmony of the pattern. Now when we'll come here, we'll talk about the saxophone next. What we've done with the saxophone, we're just going to play the third tone in the chords. So when you get into studying the program, you'll know that chords are based off of three tones, and they're an interval of a third apart. And so you have the middle tone is known as the mediant. And so when we're playing over the C chord, the middle tone is going to be an E. When we're playing over the A chord, the middle tone is going to be a C, because the tones for the A minor chord are A, C, and E. But the saxophone is going to play the middle tone in the triad. And so of course when we get over to the F chord, we're gonna play an A, because that's the middle tone of the F chord, and the same for the G. We'll play the B. Now with the electric piano, we know that the bass has the root note covered. We know that the saxophone has the middle tone covered. So with the electric piano, the only rules we're going to enforce are that it will play only chord tones. So the only tones that we'll select in here are chord tones. We've decided to add some rhythmic features by starting on the second beat of each measure, and we play in this it's the middle tone and the fifth, and we throw in a root here. Oops. So this is just the pattern that we're going to use, and is this right here. And then we're going to repeat that melodic motif on each measure, playing over each different chord. So with the A here, you're going to see that's going to sound the same, but it's going to harmonize with the root. The A is the root, because that's the chord that we're playing over right there. So I'm going to cut some of this explanation short, and I'll just let you hear the song, how it sounds. But those are the simple rules. We just took the drum pattern. We got the bass to cover the root notes. We got the saxophone to cover the middle tone. And the electric piano will just play some rhythmic motifs that harmonize with the bass and the saxophone by playing only chord tones. So let's get to it and let's hear what it sounds like. So here we go to the F chord. Now to the G chord, the 5 chord, back to the 1. We took the saxophone out. Here's the F chord, the 4 chord. And we'll finish up on the 5 chord, the G major. And that's it. That's our song. So that's how simple it is to construct songs. And once you learn, there are like hundreds of more patterns. This was based on the 1-6-4-5, and what we used to harmonize our chords were sticking to nothing but chord tones, and we tried to supply some simple rhythm using the bass sets the pulse of the music with some very steady rhythm, and the electric piano, we try to supply some rhythmic motifs, and that's how simple it can be. So when you get into this, if you go study our program, then you'll be able to learn hundreds of different patterns, and you'll be able to learn, when we start getting into non-chord tones, we'll go over the concepts of tension and resolution. So what we have here is a song that sounds, pretty nice. You may even call it a little boring and simple, but the point is, it sounds nice. There's nothing that clashes or sounds bad, because there's no tension in the music. We're using nothing but chord tones, which are consonant, and that's it. So there'll be many more lessons to come. We'll cover a lot of different stuff, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.